but quite different from others that you've seen here at QVC. It is the only finishing powder that we have that comes tinted.
Yes.
Why tinted?
But it's invisible.
Okay.
Well, especially for warmer, darker skin tones, you need to add a little bit of brightness, but it's still totally transparent.
Okay.
So sometimes for darker skin tones, especially if you have a quote unquote translucent powder, it'll make the skin look a little bit ashy. And I have a lot of clients who are women of color, and I can't do that to them.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't like you very much then,
No,
Theo. They
but you
go
can
away a little upset.
Yes, but you can see that even though this is quite a dark looking shade,
Okay.
on my hand it disappears.
All right.
And it just
that.
disappears into nothing. And it's
Oh,
so
wow.
velvety.
Look at how beautiful that
So
looks.
it'll brighten,
Nice
but it'll
finish.
never look cakey, and it also won't change the color of your foundation throughout the day.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Very important to know.
Yes.
All right, there are 3 shades to choose from in your finishing powder to help coincide with
5.
your number. Oh, I'm sorry, 5. Why did I
yeah.
say 3? Yes, to coincide with your number, because there's 10 foundations.
That's right.
She's done 5 finishing powders, so she's grouped 2 of the numbers together.
That's correct.
Right?
That's
okay.
correct.
So
And nobody needs 10 loose powders.
right. Okay. You're like, I'm not even that crazy, right?
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Okay. So, do we have a shade chart for this? Okay. Do you want to show it? Okay.
Yep, there we
Let's
go.
take a look at this.
So you can see how we've paired them together. So 01, 02 is going to be for our very alabaster girls. 03, 04 is going to be for our more beige neutral skin tones.
Okay.
05, 06 is going to be for our golden skin tones. And 07, 08 is for more caramelly. And again, the 07, 08 is going to be really brightening. If you look at it, I don't think I have one to show, but it's actually quite orange, and that is what brings the brightness, but it's totally translucent.
So when we get it home, if we ordered that and we see it's orange, not to freak out.
Don't
put it on
freak
the
out.
skin and we'll be amazed.
It is so incredible. And it's really
Gotcha.
like kind of an old school makeup artist trick.
Oh, okay.
09 and 10 is for deeper, richer shades.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so show me, again,
Yep.
sometimes I get intimidated
Yes.
with finishing powders because
Sure.
I don't know how much to use. I don't know where to start because I'm
Sure.
afraid it's going to settle into my fine lines.
Right, so you don't have to put finishing powder everywhere. You can
Okay.
just put it where you want to blot powder. Blot oil. I don't necessarily cover an entire person's face
Really?
in powder.
See,
No.
I didn't know that. I
No.
thought it just had to go everywhere.
No, oh my gosh, there are no rules in makeup. And if there are, break them. So I'll start here, just in the center of her face. And so that just eliminated the shine right there. But I can still leave the dewiness on the bridge of her nose. I can leave the dewiness on her cheeks. Maybe I'll hit it right here, and then I'll turn that way for me, babe. Yep, I'll hit the jawline so that doesn't look shiny. But then I'll leave the rest of the skin so that it can breathe and look natural.
Oh, so for a lot of us, it may just be our T-zone.
I tend to blot the T-zone a lot and leave the rest dewy, just because you still want to have that freshness. Or if you really love powder, you can just use it to mattify your face.
Okay, wonderful.
But without the heaviness of a traditional powder.
Okay, now at retail you can find, because again, Ulta and QVC, the only 2 places that you can find Fiona Stiles makeup, but at Ulta you will spend $26 for the finishing powder. You will not get the brush. So the finishing powder and the brush, 2 easy payments of $16 here. Again, look at that.
It's like airbrushed, right? Isn't that amazing?
It really is.
And she's in 05, 06, because you were 5 in the foundation,
Yes.
right? Yeah. So 05, 06 covers it perfectly for her.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that pretty?
It's just a really beautiful photo finish result. It's like your own personal filter.
Exactly. You're walking around with your own Instagram filter. And again, numbered. So this says on the back, you can see 05, 06. So it
Okay.
makes it really, really simple.
And I do see that this is a good example. Now, what number are we using here on this model?
On Jamila, we're using 0910. So you
Okay.
can see how, again, it just evened her out really flawlessly. It doesn't look heavy. It doesn't look cakey. It's just a really beautiful, silky, velvety finish.
It's a perfect over the foundation
Yes.
because it's just, you
They're
know,
made to match.
sometimes I worry that a powder, if you're using a luminous foundation, I thought if I put a powder on top of it, I'm going to cancel out the luminosity that I want from the foundation, but to see the 2
Yes.
together, we realize that's not going to happen.
That's right.
Because it's so weightless.
It's very weightless. And you can just knock out the shine where you want. Like I said, you don't have to do it over your
Perfect.
whole face. And you can tell on Elise also that it really just evens everything out. She has a really beautiful velvety finish, again, without looking heavy or cakey.
And what number is Elise in?
You're 3, right? Yeah,
3.
so she's 03, 04.
Wow, look how pretty.
Yeah.
And that color on her lips
I
is coming up with the
know.
lip crayon, but that is just beautiful. Now
bringing
I'm
it with the
thinking
color.
like fresh spring. spring.
I know. Well,
right?
Who
All the
doesn't want
colors.
a little bit of like brightness and love in January.
It's just beautiful. I want to take a look at the shade chart again because people are starting to want to call in because they picked up the foundation. Now they want the matching finishing powder.
Fantastic. Okay, so we paired it into, we took it from the 10 and paired them up. So now we have 5. 0102 is for our alabaster girls, for our really pale girls. 0304, that's going to be for our beige neutral tones. 0506 is for more golden skin tones. And this is where we get into sort of the brightening effect of this loose powder.
Okay.
0708 is for caramel skin tones, and 0910 is for deeper, richer skin tones. And again, they're totally invisible, translucent, although they do have this sort of magical brightening effect for the darker shades.
You will get the little powder puff, I always call them, with it as well. But what you really want to do is you recommend, since we're giving you the brush, use the perfect brush. Remember, they're tipped. They're always tipped, so you can get into all those little corners.
That's right, exactly. And this is a dual fiber brush, which I love because then you have the firmness of the darker fiber underneath and the sort of gentleness of the white fibers on top, so you can really deliver the product perfectly.
It's beautiful.
Isn't it soft?
Set and forget. Now, is this something, if I'm really especially oily, can I reapply this later on in the day?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And sometimes what I'll do is if I don't want to carry all this around, and this is what I do also for my red carpet clients, is I shake a little bit into a tissue or I load up the puff, put the puff in a tissue, throw it in my purse, and then I've got a loaded puff throughout the day and I don't have to worry about carrying something like this around.
That is fantastic. So at the weddings, I always, you know, I couldn't take my powder.
Have you seen those clutches on the red carpet?
Yes.
They are like this big. They can't put their phones in there. They can't put
powder
anything.
on the brush in a tissue or powder just in the tissue.
And then take the puff with you, and then you can have that to travel with, and it doesn't weigh anything. It takes up no space.
The advice is worth its weight in gold. I mean, honestly, I'm loving this. I'm learning so many new things. Okay, so there's your finishing powder. Again, with the brush, you can only get that at QVC, 2 easy payments of $16. Know your number. It's always going to be the same, 8286. 879 is your item number. Thank you so much. Hey, earlier, in case you missed it,